Jurassic Park, 1993. Jurassic Park arrived like a cinematic earthquake and reshaped everything. From the moment it hit theaters in the early 90s, it became a landmark in filmmaking. People watched it and felt it, from the size of the dinosaurs, the way they moved, the way they breathed, to the way they filled the screen made everything feel larger than life. The technology behind it was ahead of its time, blending practical effects with computer graphics in a way that made every creature feel alive. You could see the skin texture, the weight of their steps, and the detail in their eyes. Steven Spielberg brought his full storytelling power to the screen. Every moment had an intention. There was a deep curiosity running through the entire film, like every character was trying to understand where they stood in the middle of this scientific marvel. Dr. Grant, Dr. Sattler, and Ian Malcolm each had their take on the park and the creatures it housed. John Hammond had a vision, and that vision was fully present in every inch of the place, from the towering gates to the automated jeeps gliding on the tracks. The characters were present in every part of the story. No one felt out of place or disconnected from the events around them. Dr. Grant's reactions evolved as he was forced to adapt. Ellie Sattler remained sharp and grounded through every challenge. Ian Malcolm added his theories and warnings, creating tension with every line. Even the children, Lex and Tim, contributed in real and memorable ways. The kitchen scene with the raptors is still talked about for good reason. The story does not rely on setups for future sequels. It tells a complete narrative that stands on its own. At the same time, it lays the foundation for everything that came after. The decisions made by the characters, the consequences of the science, and the ideas about control and nature became core themes for the entire franchise. Each dinosaur encounter built on the last. The movements, sounds, and presence of the animals filled every frame with urgency. The raptors moved with intelligence. The T-Rex brought destruction and unpredictability. The scenes in the tall grass, the stampede moments, and the quiet tension in the jungle all carried weight. And Jurassic Park created a path that the rest of the series followed. It introduced the world, defined the tone, and set the standard. Every sequel and spin-off carries pieces of this original. The park, the characters, the structure of discovery, the way humans interact with the creatures, all of it comes from this starting point. Jurassic World, 2015. This film introduced a new phase of the story by depicting a fully operational dinosaur theme park. The setting brought in a sense of progress and scale, with the island now functioning as a tourist attraction. Characters such as Owen Grady and Claire Dearing were introduced and became central to the franchise's modern direction. The creation of the Indominus Rex, a genetically modified predator, became a turning point in the plot, leading to a series of high-stakes events across the park. Action scenes were used to build suspense, and the return of classic dinosaurs provided moments that connected to earlier films. The film showed various layers of decision-making and human responses in a crisis, along with the behavior of dinosaurs in a controlled environment that eventually began to unravel. New dynamics emerged in how humans and dinosaurs interacted, especially in scenes involving training, observation, and unintended consequences. The story blended moments of chaos with quieter beats of reflection and personal change, keeping the pacing steady. The production design, visual effects, and strong use of familiar settings helped make this entry a continuation that carried the narrative forward without interruption. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, 1997. This sequel took the audience to a different island known as Site B, where dinosaurs were living without fences or tourists. The film followed a field team sent to study the animals, with a second group arriving to capture them. The presence of both scientific observers and a corporate expedition led to tensions and complications. The story unfolded in stages, first in the jungle and then in an urban setting. Jeff Goldblum returned as Ian Malcolm, now with more personal stakes. The dinosaurs were shown in different habitats, and the film focused more on their behavior in the wild. Action sequences such as the cliffside trailer attack demonstrated the unpredictability of the environment and the dangers involved. The story highlighted the interactions between humans and nature and the choices made by individuals within larger systems of control and exploitation. The atmosphere remained consistent, with locations and situations carefully crafted to support the storyline. Dialogue was used to develop characters and ideas, and set pieces created clear paths for movement, conflict, and resolution. The tone remained steady, with scenes building naturally from one to the next. Jurassic Park 3, 2001. This film focused on a rescue mission involving a young boy stranded on Isla Sorna. Dr. Alan Grant returned as a central figure, bringing a connection to the earlier films. The pacing moved quickly, beginning with the setup of the mission and moving into a series of encounters with various dinosaur species. A new predator, the Spinosaurus, was introduced and played a key role in the film's structure. The characters moved across the island in search of safety and answers, facing challenges related to terrain, survival, and communication. Set pieces such as the aviary sequence and the riverboat scene were designed to highlight different aspects of the dinosaurs' habitats. The story kept its focus on immediate stakes, with moments of urgency grounded in practical goals. The design of the creatures, the sounds, and the visual effects remained consistent with the series' style. Dialogue and interaction supported the movement of the plot, with key discoveries and losses pushing the characters forward. While the story was more compact, it stayed centered on its purpose and delivered scenes that carried visual clarity and momentum. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom 2018. The next chapter presented the destruction of Isla Nublar due to a volcanic eruption and the beginning of a new direction in the franchise. The characters worked to rescue remaining dinosaurs from the island before the eruption could wipe out the population. Once off the island, the story moved to a private estate where auctioning of the creatures and further genetic experiments were taking place. The Indoraptor, another hybrid dinosaur, became a significant part of the narrative. The film explored issues of animal rights, corporate secrecy, and the boundaries of science. It used lighting, sound, and pacing to shift from wide natural spaces to confined, suspenseful interiors. The relationship between Owen and Claire continued to develop, while new characters added variety to the perspectives shown. This was also the point where dinosaurs stopped being park attractions and started becoming part of the real world. They were no longer stuck on some distant island. Now they were showing up in basements, rooftops, and regular neighborhoods. It gave everything a new vibe, like the dinosaurs were getting way too close for comfort. Suddenly, it was not about surviving a park gone wrong. It was about figuring out how people were supposed to live with these creatures now out in the open. The film opened the door for the next phase of the story, where dinosaurs were no longer behind fences. They were roaming in spaces people thought were safe. The decision-making of the characters influenced the outcome of the plot, with consequences that reached beyond the single setting. The musical score supported the emotional and thematic shifts. The visuals maintained a dark tone, matching the storyline's progression. Throughout, the film kept its focus on the changing role of dinosaurs in the world. Jurassic World Dominion 2022. This installment brought together characters from both trilogies, placing them in a world where dinosaurs had spread beyond the islands. The setting expanded to multiple regions, with dinosaurs becoming part of cities, landscapes, and remote areas. The return of legacy characters such as Dr. Grant, Dr. Sattler, and Dr. Malcolm introduced a multi-generational approach to the story. Alongside them, Owen and Claire continued their journey, now working to protect their adopted daughter. The plot included a biotech corporation conducting experiments with both animals and crops, introducing new layers of science and corporate interest. The tone remained grounded in exploration and search missions, while maintaining a sense of urgency. Scenes involved multiple locations, allowing different environments to shape the challenges faced by the characters. Interactions between dinosaurs and humans were shown across a range of situations, including chases, containment attempts, and close observations. The visual presentation remained detailed, with attention to design and texture. The film made space for reflection, action, and resolution, giving each group of characters time to contribute to the larger arc. Dominion leaned into the idea of global adaptation, showing how people, governments, and corporations were responding to a world now permanently shared with dinosaurs. Black markets, underground breeding rings, and scientific black sites appeared across the globe, revealing how quickly the balance of power could shift when prehistoric creatures entered modern systems. Dinosaurs were not a novelty anymore. They were part of the world now, and nobody was entirely ready for it. Jurassic World Rebirth 2025. The newest film presents a world shaped by years of coexistence between dinosaurs and people. The story introduces a new group of characters navigating this evolved world where nature, science, and society are all part of the same ecosystem. Dinosaurs appear not only as threats, but also as presences woven into daily life, from forests and waterways to infrastructure and protected zones. The tone focuses on adaptation and coexistence, moving at a deliberate pace that allows scenes to unfold gradually. Characters explore, respond, and adapt rather than react and panic, and the dialogue supports this with measured delivery and internal reflection. The visuals maintain a natural color palette, supporting the narrative's emphasis on the environment. Locations are grounded in real-world landscapes, allowing the story to build a believable world that follows logically from earlier films. The musical score complements the natural tone, while moments of conflict rise from real-world scenarios like migration paths, conservation politics, and environmental planning. The film takes its time with pacing and scale, forming a clear direction for the next phase of the story. And that's our ranking of the entire Jurassic saga. Which one of them still lives rent-free in your head? Drop your ranking in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.